Annyeonghaseyo friends, and welcome back to the Torsie channel for more IU, and a very happy Friday day to you. Yes, this is part of my merch. Yes, you can twinsies with me if you would like some more IU in your life. The link to my Redbubble store is in the description. They come in many colours. You don't have to be all pink, but if you want to be, that's cool too. I am so happy that we have made it to Friday day because I have been in bed all week, incredibly sick, and I wasn't sure that I was gonna make it, but I've made it. And I'm super excited because we are finally up to the music videos and the performances of the Modern Times album, which we've just spent the last 5 weeks listening to or something like that. Amazing album, and at the end of every album listening session I've been very impatient to watch the music videos and the performances. Today we have the Red Shoes and Friday because I've been reliably told one has to watch them together, so that is exactly what we're doing. And over on Patreon we are going to watch the live performance of Modern Times on M Countdown, and we also have episode 10 of My Mister, or as I like to call it, Emotional Damage. But in quite the opposite feeling. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Let's get into it. Cool. Restored and remastered. Love that. Gotta say, I'm happy that I don't have to editing like that. How extremely singing in the rain. Hey, buddy. You're kidding! Wow, well, obviously I love the paint. Good. nuts on that piano. I love it. How cool! How cool! I was gonna say halfway through that it's not just Singing in the Rain, it's also Moulin Rouge, and then it did the pullback in Paris, and duh. The Singing in the Rain element is the shoes, the tap dancing, the costumes, that 1920s opulent musical, and of course the Moulin Rouge element is the bohemian, artistic, particularly the group together when we were watching the teasers, because it was in black and white. I said, ooh, beatnik, because they were in the stripy shirts and we had the two pianos and everything, which is very much reminiscent of Ewan McGregor's character and then later Nicole Kidman's character hanging out with Toulouse and that entire troupe as they were creating their show together. That real sense of a period of time where there was nothing but creating art and partying and making your entire environment heightened and excited and allowing yourself to collaborate and be free. So it's wonderful after seeing the teasers that were in black and white to see them in colour and see that those striped shirts are actually really, really colourful and everything is quite hyper-coloured and not as dark and drab as we originally thought, though of course that catches up to her. It actually, as well, there is an Indian film called Om Shanti Om, and only people who have seen it will understand what I mean by this, because it's really hard to describe the idea of the spirit of a person and the memory of a person being captured in film and remaining in film that way, and that a place that had once been full of life and this person's presence and personality now being relegated only to film and memory, and then that element of something being quite supernatural, the way the shoes in the black and white came to get her and she was flicking away at the end. That reminds me quite a lot of Om Shanti Om, which by the way is a fabulous film and you should see it, particularly because Deepika Padukone is one of the most beautiful human beings that ever walked the planet, and of course it's a Shah Rukh Khan film. I mean, what an amazing, watch me stutter, what an amazing trip that was. Incredible trip. I love that the guy that's in it is the bad guy debt collector in My Mister. I kept wanting to make this comment, actually, watching My Mister, and I never did because it felt so strange to say that these two adversarial characters have such great chemistry, but they have such great chemistry. And I did make a comment on one of the episodes of My Mister that if you took the way he looked at her in isolation, if you didn't know the story or his particular obsession with her, you would think that was the look of love. You would think that was someone who was desperately and obsessively in love with her, because the way he cannot tear himself away from her, has to watch her at all times, really uses the debt as an excuse to just hang around because he is magnetized to her. And the two of them, although it is always violent and a standoff and, as I said, adversarial, have incredible electricity, really, really good chemistry. And seeing it in its other way, seeing something that's sweet and loving and seeing him stare at her in that way, but this time it's fascinated and adoring love. That's nice because it works. They do have great chemistry. They do belong on screen together. Oh, and of course the other thing very Singing in the Rain about it all was the silent film. And also the fact that in Singing in the Rain, the story is we were about silent film, and then the talkies came out, and now what do we do with this film that was a silent film? And we'll turn it into a musical, and we have that element as well in this, where we had the black and white, the silent film, the speech card coming up, and now we have the opportunity for things to be in Technicolor and to have music and turn this into a musical. I love the moment of the loss of control at the end, that the shoes have taken over, the mix of it all, the fairy tale element. The musicals, fairy tales rarely have a good ending, and The Red Shoe certainly doesn't. And true to that story, we have love, we have freedom, we have creativity, we have parties, we have a wonderful summertime, but summer comes to an end, and the Red Shoes dance you to death, and the Moulin Rouge eventually closed, and all those things flicker out and fade, much as she flickers out and fades with the film. The use of film as well as the medium that we're looking at, film itself, eventually fades. Also, the choice of having him edit at the beginning almost feels like he, in his memory, is trying to re-edit how that all went. Maybe trying to cut out the sad bits, maybe trying to change the end, because it clearly didn't end well, as none of those stories, all the references in the song, ended well. That was so fabulous and opulent and wonderful, and I love the dancing, and I'm an absolute sucker for Art Deco, so that just tickles me pink. I love everything about that. And now we're going to see Friday. Oh, how wonderfully weird. Well, hi. Oh, shut up, how cute are you? Oh, I'm sorry, dude. cute. Oh. Oh. Found each other in the next life, huh? Love the tiebacks of the piano, the bohemian, odd creative feeling band that's on the street, the Chaplin black and white film playing in the background, and perhaps a look of how sweet and lovely their relationship was back in the 20s before it ended in the red shoes and then has been found again in this next life. I'm fully aware I'm not supposed to believe in multiple lives, but I can't help it. Can't help it. It just makes sense. I think it just makes sense, and I feel like it makes sense to IU as well. I haven't actually looked up whether she believes in multiple lives, but I feel like she would. Especially an old soul like her. Her character in My Mister talks about having come back several times over, and I almost feel like it's just IU. That's somebody who has been around the wheel a couple of times. It's the only way to explain just how well she understands the world. That was so charming. That was so sweet and so charming, and I feel so bad for the other guy. Oh no. Oh no. It happens to the best of us, buddy, okay? It's happened to literally all of us. You're not alone in that feeling. What I love so much about that, when we were doing the album listening, I was saying how what's great about IU as an actress is that she acts through her voice, and so even when you're not watching her, you still understand the emotion. I talked about how you could hear her smile in that song, and then watching the music video, there's that sweet, lovely smile that goes with it. It is as joyful and excited and impatient as you hear when you're just listening to the song, and as satisfying when Friday comes and you get together as you feel it is in the song and feel it would be when you impatiently wait for Friday, as we all do every single week so we can spend the day with IU. That really is charming, and like I said, I think those two do have amazing chemistry, and it's quite satisfying to see them play the opposite relationship to how they play in My Mister. I'm very much looking forward to every performance of modern time songs that we can get our hands on, because they are delightful in performance or in music video as they are to listen to. There's so much that can be done when you're dealing with that level of genre writing and storytelling. You can really go big. The Red Shoes music video, that's big. That's a big production. That would have cost a lot. It would have taken a huge amount of effort, but it pays off, and it's a song that's big enough to be able to hold a big music video like that. And I'm really glad that IU and her team are willing to go for it, especially because that song is so full orchestra, pacey score that only gets pacier. It matched the level of the sound, and the music video became as big as the sound of that song. And Friday's music video is matched just as well, that simplicity and that little bit of quirkiness that goes with being giddy about a relationship. So him playing the piano on the table and things like that, that sort of little cute sunshiny quirkiness that comes with when you're really giddy and excited about being with somebody. They're really, really well matched tonally to the song that they are. And she looks super cute in both of them. No, I take that back. She looks drop dead freaking gorgeous in the Red Shoes, and she looks cute as hell in Friday. Get you a girl who can do both, you know? Stan an idol who can do both. Which she sure can. Oh, I feel very well fed by those. They're both just fabulous. Oh, and now we're going to go watch Modern Times. Yes, Modern Times sung live on M Countdown. I love Fry Day. I really do. This just feeds me every week. My mind is just set alight by these. You just know I'm going to go through the Red Shoes music video frame by frame now, don't you? Yes, you do. Because that's my thing. I can't stop myself. Happy Friday, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me for more IU. 감사합니다. 사랑해요, and I will see you soon for more. 안녕.